Hey everyone, welcome to a new Let's Play with me, your host Tim. And today, we're going to start playing through Legacy of the Ancients again, my favorite game of all time. There will be some prep here that you can skip by adjusting the slider up here on YouTube to the appropriately segmented spot, in case you don't want us to be prattle on for a little bit about what type of game Legacy of the Ancients is, if I played it before, how far I got in it, assuming I have done so, any Timisms that we'll be using as we play this game, so special rules or things you should know before we get started, and what has motivated me to play this game with you guys at this point. Let's get started. Legacy of the Ancients is as you can tell from the copyright date indicated below, a very old school role-playing game made for the Commodore 64 is the version of it I'll be playing. Though I think it made it to the Amiga system as well at some point. Or Amiga? I think it was Amiga system, way back when as well. We will be playing the role of a protagonist who adventures throughout this one planet, visiting cities, gathering resources and supplies, exploring the lands therein, adventuring into dungeons as well, in order to save the world from destruction. A rather epic quest that will be starting rather early on. We'll cover more of it, of course, when we get going. I have played this game before. I have beaten this game multiple times, so this will not be my first time through the game. But the last time I played this game, viewer, was when I recorded it for my channel, which would be some 8 years ago now. Almost 9, I think. For a while, I was playing this game every other year in order to appreciate this game. For although we've come rather far in the graphics settings, era, I still think this game holds up very well, all things considered. With the, well, I'm beginning to ramble on about things we could talk about in the game. Let's just say that I have beaten this game many times in the past, and as such, I know what to do for the most part, even though it's been a while since I've played it with you guys. There is almost no music to the game, except for little tunes that will play when we are successful at doing things or not. So I will be chatting with you guys throughout the majority of this. I do have my graph paper maps that I made an age ago and would then transfer to new graph paper as the years would go by to ensure that I could always refer to them when I would go into the dungeons. And I will be using these for our playthrough here too. Otherwise, we could spend hours in those dungeons getting lost and dying horrifically. I have a decent memory of the layout of some of them, but not every twist and turn, so those will hopefully carry us through those difficult areas. What else is there? I'll be chatting about all sorts of random things as we play this game, viewer, and reminiscing about what life was like back then in 1987, in case you guys weren't around back then. And I think that's about it. Not a whole lot of other Timisms to say. There will be no like special house rules that we'll need to really concern ourselves with here either. I will probably chat with you guys a little bit about what we're seeing on the screen when we get into a area for the first time, or rather when we launch into the game, so you guys understand what we're looking at and how it changes and how to interact with the user interface. You should know that I am not using an actual Commodore 64 to record this game. I don't own one. I think you can actually buy them again, but you can't buy many of the games for them. You have to use ROMs for those games, and I am using such as well. I'm using an emulator for this, the Vice C64 emulator to be exact. Please do not ask me for the ROMs. I cannot and will not give them away, because I am worried about the legality of doing such. But I've acquired these many decades ago, and they followed me from computer to computer to ensure that I could always play the Commodore 64 games that I want on the emulators that I desire. Anything else? What is motivating me to play this with you guys? Well, viewers, back in October of 2023, I was diagnosed with acute myeloid leukemia. After 4.5 months of chemotherapy, we were able to get it into remission, and I have bought myself some more time. I do not know how much time I have left, My oncologists are hoping that I have gained as much time as I would normally be expected to have, which is to say the rest of my life without this cancer coming back. But I do know that most people who have what I have, 77% of them, it comes back within the first 3 years and finishes them off. On the off chance something of that sort happens to me, I would like to play some of the games that I have meant to be playing on my channel and reminisce and be nostalgic about these ancient games that I have played in before. Legacy of the Ancients and The Legend of Black Silver are 2 such games that I have extremely fond memories about and feel honestly that they hold up well today. So hopefully you guys won't mind a few of these types of games gracing the channel in the next few weeks or months. I also used to record this game for my channel every 2 years, or at the very least play through these games that often, flip-flopping between Legacy of the Ancients and The Legend of Black Silver occasionally. But it's been 9 years or so since I last played this, and I feel it's time to get another playthrough of it for the channel. So that is what we are doing. And I think that covers everything, viewer. So let me go check on my voice, and I'll be back to then record a new game. Give me a few seconds. Alright everyone, I believe my voice is coming out okay. We should be good to go. Let's go ahead and play a game. And we're going to start a new game today. And we'll need to put in our character disc so the game can write to it. We'll use the same disc I used last time. I bet you Trimus is probably still on it. Okay, there we go. And a name for this character. Let's go with Galvin. And let's start. Yep. Takes a little time, viewer. This is as if it was running in an actual Commodore 64. Okay. It wants us to put in Legacy Disc 1. The old Legacy of the Ancients game was on 1 disc, 2 sides to that disc. I can't believe the amount of content that was fitted into an old, what was it, 5 1/4 floppy disk? It's like a small fraction of what goes into games these days, size-wise. You are only a poor peasant on the world of Tarmalon, so it's hardly surprising that you've never seen a dead man before. His crumpled figure lies forlornly by the side of the road. Fighting your fear, you kneel by the still warm corpse. You see a look of panic on his face, a gold band around his wrist, and a large leather scroll clutched tightly to his chest. You've never been a thief, yet something compels you to reach for the leather scroll. Getting the armband off is trickier, but you manage to snap it around your own wrist. You scoop up 2 green coins lying nearby and hasten on your way. Before you've gone more than a few steps, your senses waver and shift. Rising from the mists, as though you've never been this way before, is a magnificent structure of polished stone. A shimmering archway beckons. No talking as the game's loading. Alright everyone, welcome to the game. I'm going to talk very briefly about what we see in front of us. Almost all of this should, however, just make sense to us here staring at this. We can see the what our character sees in the giant window that we see to the upper right. We have this first-person view whenever we are in what the game considers to be a dungeon. That would be the Museum of the Ancients, or the Galactic Museum is what I believe it is actually called, which we are currently in, or any one of the dungeons that we will be traveling in later. To the left, we have all the different actions that we are allowed to take in this type of area. Some of these don't actually work, but we'll cover those in more detail later, as well as our character's current hit points, the amount of food that we possess, in terms of, it's not really days, because you'll go through food in dungeons as well as walking on the above world, and at different rates, but we have 40 units of food, and only a handful of gold. I'll bring up our inventory really quick, where we can see our character's level. We are level 1, the amount of days we have existed for in this world, and our statistics are given in the upper area. We can see any weapons and armor we currently have equipped and are in our possession. And over here is everything else that we possess. The lit up things that are white are the things we are currently holding or wearing or wielding in the case of equipment, armor, or weaponry. Alright. Now, viewer, it took me 3 hours to get this to be to the point where I can record it and get everything configured correctly. So, we should be good to go. There should be no more setup required. Let's get going. And where are we if we examine? You are in an ancient museum. A torch crackles nearby. There's no strafing inside dungeons. We can turn left or right. You can move up and or forward and back, but you can't move left or right. And there is no 180-degree turn here either. A new sound. We can't see around the corner, alas, either. So we will have to walk up and turn left. What is this? Very loud thing. Welcome. You see a plaque. It reads, "Welcome to the famed Tarmalon Museum." Welcome, noble traveler, to this galactic museum on the planet of Tarmalon. The museum provides views and gateways to many fascinating aspects of planetary life. Use standard coins to view exhibits. Please do not give away coins or feed the Tarmalon natives. Have a nice day. We can understand the language here. Maybe that's the enchantment of the gold armband that we are wearing currently. It doesn't sound as if they ever expected a native of this planet to arrive here. Another exhibit. Okay. We have these fancy screens to look at. Pirate treasure. Well, we definitely want some of that. Let's take a look. Insert topaz coin. We have 2 jade coins, so I doubt we'll be able to interact with this. You haven't used this exhibit. You'll need a topaz coin. Some exhibits allow you to interact with them without a coin. Most, though, will need one, even if you want to view it at another time. But some do not. The fact there are torches here that are lit either means that this museum is cared for by someone, or they're magical in nature. We don't hear anything else walking around in here. Another exhibit. Let's go this way first. Maybe we can find another thing back here. By thing, I mean exhibit. And we do. Flanked by torches all over the place, huh? Or to its sides. Let's take a look at this one. Lost displays. If you haven't used this exhibit, you'll need a sapphire coin. That one didn't even give us a little tidbit or preview of what it could be that it is holding on to. Weaponry. Now, viewer, we have a jade coin, so we can interact with this if we desire. But the item, if I recall correctly, that we can acquire from this can only be gotten once. And that weapon changes the longer that you delay interacting with this exhibit. I will skip this one at the moment. We'll come back to it later. Your gold bracelet glows. A strange voice sounds inside your head. Do not be alarmed. You are just hearing my thoughts, as recorded by the bracelet. Since you are now wearing my bracelet, I must be dead. I therefore charge you to continue my mission, to neutralize the evil scroll's spells before it destroys everything. You see, the leather scroll you now carry is the immensely evil Wizard's Compendium. Since it cannot be destroyed outright, you must learn how to render its magic harmless. Beware! There are those who would think nothing of killing you in order to possess the magic compendium. There is little more to tell. By now, you must be inside the Galactic Museum, your entrance gained by the bracelet and my obsidian code disk. This museum was built by a race of ancient beings who constructed many such museums on many different planets. These ancients designed each museum for their own amusement. If you're clever, you'll find many answers here. Yet, since you're not one of the ancients, you'll have to scrounge around the countryside for coins to view exhibits. Okay, so sounds like there are indeed natives who have come here in the past. Remember your quest. Good luck. So, this compendium must be the Wizard's Compendium that we just were told about. Another exhibit up ahead. Another green one. Thornberry. We'll come back for that one too. That one's another green exhibit, which means it will take a jade coin. But we should explore more of this place and see what other exhibits, if any, are available to us to view. Using what we have, here is another exhibit. A fountain. You see a plaque. It reads Enchanted Flower Fountain. You know, let's use a jade coin on this one. Here you see a replica of the famous Enchanted Flower Fountain. Legend says that its waters once flowed in splendor. One day, a tulip was taken from the fountain gardens and the fountain waters stopped. The stories say that only when that flower is returned will the fountain flow again. Myth or fact? Judge for yourself. In either case, the museum has agreed to help search for the tulip. Oh, okay, so they're in contact with some of the rulers of Tarmalon, I suppose, or at least on the continent or area that we find the museum in. Do you want to help search? Yeah, sure. Why not? Bring the tulip back here for a nice reward. Meanwhile, here's some native gold to aid you in your search. Nice. All we did there was just agree to help search for the tulip. If you find it or not, I guess they don't really care. They must have quite a bit of currency on hand if they can just give away 100 willy-nilly like that. This would be Thornberry again. Sure. Let's use this exhibit as well. A typical town of Tarmalon. This exhibit shows a typical Tarmalon town called Thornbury. The town was established over 100 lifespans ago by a group of wealthy merchants. Wow, it's been around for a while. 100 lifespans? What would that be on this planet? Maybe like 60? 600 years or so? Whew. Good for the city or town. Thornbury has changed little since its founding. The rich and the poor still live on opposite sides of town, separated by a massive stone wall. Despite its inequity, Thornbury is a bustling community, containing shops, craftsmen, banks, and places of amusement. Would you like to go there? Sure. Here's some gold to spend on your trip. Being asked if you want to go there, the exhibit then brought us there. Normally I would like a little more information before I would agree to such. Being asked, do you want to go there right now? Would you like to be teleported there? Not, would you like to go there? But it does give us a chance now to talk a little bit about some of the things that transpired. I interacted with the exhibits in a certain order because of the amount of gold you get for doing so. If I recall correctly, if you examine Thornbury and go there using your jade coin, then you're given 100 gold when you show up before you leave. Then you have to work your way back to the museum if you want to spend any other jade coins. I wanted a little more money to start, and thus we have 400. We have 420 gold to spend. That number means something these days, doesn't it? We now see as well a different view. We are the white figure that you see in the center of the screen. The yellow figures are guards. It is a top-down view that we see. This is the roof of a building to our viewer, our left, our character's right-hand side. We see a wall, we have some grass on the ground, there's a tree that we see, there's another roof. To enter a building, you can see the floor of the building or doorway, which is in the shadow of the structure. Walking on it will reveal what is inside the building. And we can walk up to someone who's here and talk with them. Earl's Used Boat Shop. Want to buy a raft for 262 gold? No, we have no desire for a raft at the moment, or rather we have no need for one. How about some climbing gear for 33? Well, climbing gear is used to scale mountain tiles when we're outside of a town. We will probably want to do that at some point. Might as well buy it now. Climbing gear purchased. We have to hold the climbing gear if we actually want to utilize it, but I'll wait to do so to show you what happens if you don't have it and try to climb mountains. You're in Thornbury. Look about to see more. That's a little window, I guess, that's located there. Actually, or is that the chimney? Chimney, okay. Right, there are no windows. Just chimneys. We have a fortune teller over here to the right, and we have a gambling establishment over here to the left. Let's talk with these folks. The Cloudy Crystal. Lead your fortune for 7 gold? Yeah, I want to know what's happened to us in the future. Buyback shops pay nicely once you learn to negotiate. So these are generally tips to help you understand the game. A buyback shop is a place where you can haggle to sell your equipment back for more money than you might otherwise gain by selling it straight out to a weapon or armor shop. It's not guaranteed that you'll earn more cash, and generally you won't be able to do so until you have a higher charisma stat. We won't have one of those for quite some time. Would you like to play some flip-flop? Oh my goodness, I haven't played flip-flop in forever. Yeah, let's play some flip-flop. We'll play each of the games here twice, so you guys can see what these are like. The Lucky Winner, Flip-Flop Parlor. Sure, we'll take directions. Flip-Flop is a gambling game of skill and chance. It's mostly skill, although there is a slight bit of chance involved to it too. You drop a ball from the top of the screen. It bounces from bumper to bumper and falls into a bucket at the bottom. Green bumpers bounce the ball left. Purple bumpers bounce the ball right. Something like this. You win gold by correctly guessing which bucket, 1 through 6, the ball will fall into. You can also win a special bonus by guessing the correct color. Since the ball is less likely to fall into the outer buckets, the payback is more gold. It's more or less luck-based if you're going to be able to land on a 6 or a 5. Most of the time, you'll be landing in with the other center ones. You win the amount you bet if it lands in 1 or 2, double 3 through 4, 5 times, and if it lands in 5 through 6. Of course, we don't believe in giving away our gold. To make things fair, the bumpers flip-flop back and forth. It will do this as you are selecting how much gold to bet and what spot the ball will drop into. It will also flip-flop like this when the ball is released. It will flip-flop faster the more money that you have gambled. After you place your bet, you'll have a few moments to decide which bucket you think the ball will drop into. You'll have a while to study the bumpers and pick a bucket. If time runs out, we'll drop the ball and pretend you chose bucket 6. In other words, odds are you won't win if you wait till time's out. No, we don't need the instructions repeated. Remember, flip-flop has as much skill as chance. Watch the flippers and choose buckets carefully. Hint, keyboard is easiest. Yeah, it's fastest to use a keyboard. We'll do one practice to show you guys, and then we'll bet twice. Okay, so right now it's going into bucket 1. Number 2. Well, we don't need more practice. You guys have gotten the idea of it. So let's bet 20 bucks. We'll bet 20 bucks twice. We'll choose red. Here we go. 3. Darn it! Oh, still lost. One more time. 1. All right. Well, we won back what we bet, but we're going to go ahead and stop. The other game you can play in Legacy of the Ancients is Blackjack, which I believe is right here. Walking up to the merchants interacts with that merchant, and or if there's multiple types of counters, walking to the counter will do so. So this is Blackjack. I think we all know how to play Blackjack, or 21. The closest to 21 wins. Aces count as 1s or 10s, if I recall correctly. Dealer wins ties. Dealer is forced to stop on an 18 or higher than that, and you win automatically if the dealer goes over. But the dealer only flips cards after you stop your bet, if I recall all the rules correctly. We don't need instructions then. We'll bet less here, because I'm generally not good at blackjack. We'll bet 10 bucks twice. So we have 12. Oh, there are no suits to my... Oh, actually, or are there? There might be suits. They might be indicated as a J, Q, or K. So 12 is not going to win, so we got to hit. 19. Only another 2 would allow us to continue playing, or we'd be over. So we'll stay at 19. Hey, and we win. Let's... Oh, did he stop at 16? 17 he stopped at. Okay. Let's go again. One more time. Well, we got a hit. 20. Stay. It's a tie. Oh, I thought dealer 1 ties. Okay. So nothing happens. We'll do one more. Keep getting 12s. Oh. Has to be a 4 or less. Odds of that are very low, but I don't think we'll beat him on a 17, so we'll hit. We lose. Okay. All right, so we're done. Those are the 2 games in this video game. Note that if you win a significant amount of money, the house will call you a cheater and will then activate or alarm the guards to such. And you will have to escape the town at that point. You can win quite a bit of money, especially on flip-flop, if you're quick at judging where the ball will drop from. And a little lucky, hoping that the flip-floppers, the paddles, don't adjust where the ball was going to go. This is a buyback shop, Pedro's buyback shop. We don't have anything we want to sell him at the moment. And we'll do buybacking at the buyback shop later on. By that, I mean a few episodes from now. Maybe when we have more charisma. A lending association. You can borrow, I believe, up to your hit points in gold. But you will need to pay that much plus interest back at some point. If you don't pay it back in time, I believe the towns will become hostile to you, which make it difficult for you to actually pay back the loan you owe. I don't think I've ever actually taken out a loan in this game. It never struck me as being worth it. Poor man's armor. Well, this is the shop for us. What are you guys selling today? A fair ring mail and shoddy studded hide. Now, this is really tricky. I think armor reduces the damage that you take. Don't quote me on that. I think that's what it does, though. 147 for fair ring mail. So their armor and weapons come in a quality type, and the type of armor it is itself. The cheaper the armor generally, the worse that armor is for you. Fair ring mail is better than shoddy studded hide. Superb ring mail, studded hide might be better than fair ring mail, but I can't remember. I think we'll pass on the armor at the moment. Since this shop here, this is a stove that's located right there. That's an oven top the stove top that we see. That would hint that the shopkeeper here will sell us food. Yep, soup kitchen. All poor themed. The names. That's kind of depressing. We sell food for travel. Each day of food will keep you fed for 1 day of travel on foot. Cost is 1 gold per day. Well, viewer, there's no weight capacity we have to worry about. Like, we can carry 1,000,000 days of food if we are able to actually purchase so much. Let's get 80 days of food. Would you like to earn some coin? The food stores in this game will also offer you quests. It's always going to be a delivery quest. We'll be given some mail, and we have to bring it to a food store in another town. That town will be somewhere close to this one. Basically, you don't have to worry about, well, you could miss a town if you don't know where it's located, if you don't have the world map available to you, for example. But generally, we don't have to worry about this town being like 3 towns distance away. It's 1 distance away. That's a weird way to describe it. It'll make sense as we play this game a bit together. But we need all the gold we can get. So yes, we want to earn some gold. Here's some mail to deliver to Mazleton. Oh, Mazleton. I was hoping to be Grand Rapids, but Mazleton will work. Okay, alright. So we're going to be going west, if I remember my map of the world correctly. And this is the rich part of town. Guards all nicely lined up. Let's go to the bottom building, which I seem to remember is an actual weapons store. Nope, this is the bank. Okay, well, let's speak with him. So, you gain interest on the gold that you deposit in here. You can actually make money on this with a great deal of gold placed into banks. Quite unlike real life, where you could have tens of thousands of dollars in a bank and earn absolutely nothing for it. My goodness, it was quite a different world, Tarmalon, and the 80s than it is today. In any case, banks are also a good place to go because if you die, you lose all the gold that you were carrying. So we'll want to leave money in banks occasionally, just in case we end up biting it. You will be brought back to life, depending on how you die in the game. Actually, I don't think you can die permanently, but I might be wrong about that. So let's leave $100 in the bank. And hopefully this is a weapon store. Every town, to my knowledge, has a weapon and armor store and a place to buy food in it. They tend to have a gambling establishment. Other buildings are not as regular. Oh, there's a jail here. You can get in trouble by speaking to the people in jail, so we won't want to do that. At least not until we can defend ourselves. The Weapons Club. Do you actually have clubs? A great knife. So we don't have any weapon, so we need something to defend ourselves with. So we'll purchase that knife. We'll then go ahead and select weapon over there on the left and equip it. This gives me a good enough chance to talk about how to interact with the game in case you guys do manage to pick up an emulator and manage to find the ROM for this game. You interact with the things listed on the left by entering the first letter. Armor would be A, fighting would be F, game speed would be G. To use a joystick, I am using my Logitech gamepad through this Vice 64 emulator. Make sure that you have the joystick enabled, that the joypad is selected in the options menu in the settings therein, and make sure that you are using joystick port 2. And from the selections in the Vice 64 soft emulator, port 1 will not work, as a heads up. Anyway, that's it for Thornberry. Let's go ahead and see what the world is like. The emulator I'm using... Oh, hold on. Let's get out of the town. Oh my goodness, viewer. Hello. So, let's look around here really quick and I'll describe what we're seeing here. What we just left is a series of little houses on the map. That represents a town. We are currently in a swamp. You can tell by the squishy sound. Can I change... I'm a little worried OBS will have some trouble if I change the audio settings at the moment. I remember it having a squishier sound, though. I'm going to stop the recording really quick and change the audio. Oh. No, next video we'll change the audio a bit, and I'll see if I can make it sound a little different. In any case, let's cover some of the terrain that we see. The bluish stuff that we're standing near and we're on is a swamp. The dark green is a forest. The light green are plains. The darker blue we see above us is water. That looks like a rather large river. You can't cross rivers or streams or oceans or bays, what have you, without a boat. Over there to the right, we see mountains, which is the brownish thing, and deserts, which is the yellow. A score pod is approaching. Our first battle. Let's just fight it. We missed. We got hit. That was 4 damage. Yes, take it. Ooh. We missed. Uh-oh. This is not looking good. We lost 20th of our hit points. We're gonna kill it though. We need to kill it. We started this fight. Well, we don't need to kill it. We could run. Maybe we should. Uh-oh. This is looking really bad. Come on, we can kill a score pod. Yes, we did. Okay. 9 gold. Oh, was that worth it? I don't think it was. But, well, it's over now. Okay, so that is basically combat in the above world. You take turns fighting the enemies round by round, and that's it. Your chance to hit, the damage that you do, and how much damage you take is based on the weapons you have equipped and your statistics, or your armor, depending upon if you're taking hits or dishing it out. With a dexterity of 15, we're not going to be very accurate. This is not quite as low as we could possibly be, but it's not very good. Our endurance also plays with our armor to determine how much damage that we sustain. Dex affects our ability to hit and to dodge enemy attacks. Damage is dealt with the weapons that we are wielding. Better the weapon, the more damage you deal. And our strength. Higher strength also equates to more damage. Intelligence is used to determine your spell damage and success rate, since spells can fizzle if you're not very intelligent. We are not very intelligent at this moment. Charm affects the prices for things in shops. A lower charm than 15 will find us paying more for things, and a higher charm makes things cheaper. If I recall correctly, Mazleton is, I want to say it's northwest of Thornberry, but we have to go east to get there. Buying a boat could be useful, but we don't have the gold for the boat from Thornberry now, so we're going to have to hike it. An unknown creature approaching from the east. Let's move in that direction. A Practon Piercer. Sometimes these things are friendly. Maybe this is? Let's speak. Nope. Alright, we're going to try to avoid this one by moving east again. Yep, and you disengage. Different creatures are located in different types of terrain. The Practon Piercer is, for the most part, I believe, a plains and forest thing? Walking onto deserts and mountains will have you fight some of the more dangerous creatures, but we'll need to do that if we want to actually make it to Mazleton. So let's do so. We can hear ourselves walking on sand now. If we examine, by the way, while on the terrain, we get an idea of what this will do to our supplies as well. It takes us a while to travel through deserts, and we're going to be using food more rapidly while walking through such. That's a Hugin. Yeah, it's a Hugin. I remember the name of it. How do I remember the name of it? Hello, Hugin. Sometimes you're friendly. No. I'm going to fight this one. I don't think they're actually that huge. That one wasn't. 11 gold. I was using a score pod. Got a little more gold from it, too. Now, this is mountain terrain. We can't actually walk into mountains without having climbing gear equipped. So we have to change what we're holding to the climbing gear. Well, in the mountains, we can hear the wind howling here, which is what that sound is. Okay, well, we survived some of the difficult terrain. Thankfully, we didn't meet anything in it. Let's just go west and see if this thing follows us. It did. Strider? Windstalker, not a strider. Looks like a bird of some sort. Apparently tough to hit. We're committed, though, now. Or, well, we don't have to be. We haven't hit it at all, have we? If we miss again, we'll just run. Alright, we hit it. Alright. We're gonna carve it up. 11 damage! Down it goes. Sometimes, you'll be given the option if you want to use the creature's flesh for food. I think there's always a chance it goes wrong for you. You won't find out for several days if the food you had was filled with bacteria and you get sick from it. But some creatures are more likely to make you ill than others. I don't ever remember a Windstalker's flesh going bad. So we'll pick up 4 days of food, and we also get 9 gold from the thing. We're going that direction. Practon Piercer. Let's see if we can avoid it. Last one we encountered was hostile, so I'm assuming that one was too. Let's avoid this thing and head on north. And I think this is Mazelton, which has a great name because it's like a maze. Scorepod followed us. All right, it hit us. We'll hit it back. Take that. This looks like some sort of weird crab-like thing. Only instead of like piercers for hands, has like some sort of spore. Like structure. Dead. 9 gold, not bad. Early game, we'll take all the gold we can get from monsters. We lost a fourth of our hit points getting here, though. That's pretty rough. This is Mazelton. Oh, good for me remembering where to go. How do I remember? Well, because I played the heck out of this game when I was a kid. So, of course, I would remember. All right. There's a guard post on the way into this place. This place is very much like a maze. So we want to visit the weapons store, armor store, and see what they're selling. And also see if there's any training we can get here. I don't remember there being any in Mazelton, but, well, it's been a while since I played. Man of Steel weapons. What do we got? A superb knife for 81 bucks. It'll do more damage than our great knife, but that's quite a commitment, and we just bought our great knife. Maybe we can win some money to help us afford that weapon. If there's gambling here. And I think that might be it there. Since our gold amount is so low, I'm going to skip talking with the fortune teller at the moment. A magic shop. Spells work like scrolls, is the only way I can describe it in this game. If we purchase Magic Flame, I don't really want to purchase magic at the moment. We don't really have the money to afford it. If we purchase a Magic Flame spell, we have 1 casting of it. You can hold a certain number of spells. It depends upon the type of spell that you're buying. I want to say you can hold 50 Flames and Fire Bolts, and 20 of the Befuddles through Kill Flashes, and maybe 10 Seek spells, if I recall correctly. Magic Flame and Firebolt are ranged attacks. Befuddle, Psycho Strength, and Kill Flash can only be cast inside dungeons. Befuddle will paralyze everything in the dungeon for a limited amount of time. Psycho Strength gives you extra physical damage for a while added to your weapon. Kill Flash kills everything on the current level that you're on for a few seconds. In other words, it wipes out the level and then things respawn after a few seconds, and then you're back to doing what you were doing originally. Great if you're fighting something or are pinned between several creatures and you need to wipe them out quickly. The Seek spell will teleport you to the museum's entrance. Can only be cast while you're outside. Now, I haven't mentioned it, but the cost of purchasing the equipment in this world is based on your charm, but also where you are. I believe all the shops have different costs for their weapons, armor, spells, what have you. So if we talk with this fortune teller, it's 6 gold to have our fortune read here. It was 7 over in Thornberry, for example. This place, that hints that this place is cheaper than Thornberry was. If you really care about saving your coins, you'll want to go to here, for example, to purchase spells rather than, say, other places. Well, depending on if this place is the cheapest to go to. And this shop isn't a shop at all. This is a medical facility? A medics, I think is what they're called. A healer? Healers. Those are beds. Pink blankets and blue pillows. Feels so good. So we can get wound care. We'll have all our hit points healed for 20 gold. We could buy healing herbs, but I don't think... We're either not authorized to use them or we don't know how to use them at the moment. So, No, I don't want to spend 81 bucks to show you guys either. On the off chance I can purchase them, that's quite an investment to even purchase even one of them this early in the game. Right now, we need to hold on to our cash. It's a jail. Poor gentleman can stay there. Now, we could rob a store and then try to run. Like, we could rob the weapons store and try to run out of the town. But the guards are really tough. Especially this early in the game. So, if we were a little higher level with some training to help our dexterity or endurance, we could probably rob a shop and run. But we're also supposed to be the hero, so it's something I will probably not do. A loan association, I don't care. The body shop. What are you selling? Great studded hide. 103 bucks. Okay. So we would need 200 something dollars, 230 bucks, if I want to be able to purchase the equipment here and still hold on to 152 gold. Nibbles and bits. 95 bucks for the delivery. Nice. Okay, back up to 247. We were at 120 food, so we didn't use too much to get here. Let's purchase 20 days of food. Now this food store will offer us a quest, but we have to leave the town and then come back to it again. We could walk out of town, like we did with Thornberry, or we could just hit the L key in order to use the leave option. Before I do that, I want to visit this place. Here, did we walk into this place? We did. Yeah, that's the jail. I think we visited all the shops here. That's the healers to the left. Okay, so there's no training school here. So let's leave. And there's also no place to gamble. We'll leave, we'll come back. We'll probably purchase a superb knife. We'll get the quest to bring some food to some other place, and then we'll go and do that. Maybe we should purchase better armor more than a knife, because we're using the worst armor imaginable in the game. It's probably very slightly better than not wearing any armor at all. Now the shopkeepers could have shuffled what they're selling, so here's hoping they sell at least the same things they had last time. Preferably something better. Oh, let's get the quest first. From this guy. Oh, I think we have to purchase food here to get the quest. So let's purchase 5 days. Oh, because I interacted with the key, my joystick. We can do it that way. Yes. Thompson Crossing, to the east of Mazleton and north of Thornberry. Okay, another new town to visit for us. Sometimes you can get deliveries to go back in. No, it's to the northeast of this place. Not to the straight east, I think. Sometimes you can get deliveries back and forth between the towns that you... we could have gotten a quest here to go back to Thornberry. But we did not this time. Weapon store. Still selling a superb knife. Oh, there's a good reason, by the way, while you want to talk with all the merchants, or many merchants that are present in these places. They might offer you a museum coin. The types of coins they offer are dependent upon your level, or how far you are within the current main quest. So hold on to some gold. Don't run out, because if they sell coins, you always want a coin. Always. No matter what type of coin it is that they're offering you. Okay, we will buy that great studded hide. Go ahead and wear it. And then we can sell our old one for I think it's worth $9. 23 bucks. I'll take it. You are allowed to hold a maximum of 5 weapons and 3 suits of armor at any one time. You will want extra weapons and armor with you in case the armor or weapons you are using end up being destroyed. Certain creatures can devour your armor, and your weapons can break actually, I think at any time they could break against some creature. Well, when you're out there adventuring. And some creatures can break your weapons on you. The eating of your armor and the breaking of your weapon specifically is reserved to some creatures in the dungeons. Otherwise, it's random for your weapon out in the world. I don't think I've ever had my weapon break fighting guards, so that doesn't happen inside a location like where we are currently. Alright, so I think Thompson's Crossing is to the north of here. If we're lucky, hey, we'll fight a thrust creeper. Perfect. Some creatures, this is one of them, take incredible amounts of damage from a certain weapon. Thrust creepers are weak against daggers. Another reason you might want certain weapons. They also drop a lot of money because it's one of the creatures that are weak against certain weapons. Other weapons will do not so much damage to that creature. It's actually worth keeping a dagger on you to fight those centipedes if you find yourselves going through lots of swamps. I think the other creatures are the slash nettle in forests. There's a goat, I think, in the mountains, and the neuron cloud in the desert. The goats and the neuron cloud want you to use, I think, a spear against them. That's a pit striker. Looks like a dangerous snake. Can we avoid it? Yes, we can. We'll go north and avoid that, whatever it was. Let's see what this one is. Another pit striker. Let's get out of here. I think this is Thompson's Crossing. Hey! How do I remember? I'm amazed how my mind has a unlimited capacity for storing useless information, such as where Thompson Crossing is in relation to Mazleton. Okay. Big opening structure. Looks like there's a bank to the south. Not all banks have them, but many banks do in this game world. There's a vault over there to the right. The vault just has gold in it. If you want to raid the bank and rob the vault, you'd have to kill those guards, get close to one of those vault stacks, and then hit, I think, rob to loot it. You can get quite a bit of gold that way. Okay, well, before we talk with the banker, let's see what's for sale here. And drop off our delivery. Oh! One of these places looks like it's probably gambling. Blackjack, and the other might be flip-flop. Blackjack. No. I don't like blackjack because it's a good amount of luck. More luck than flip-flop, I think. And this is probably flip-flop. We'll play flip-flop. I always take a chance on this one. So we don't need instructions. We don't need practice. We'll bet 10 gold 3 times. This is just 100% luck if it's going to land in white or red. So we'll choose white this time. 1. Hey, 10 free dollars. Let's do that again. Oh, 3. No. Oh, yes. Oh, it flipped back in for me. 20 bucks. All right, so that's a guaranteed 10 bucks. Let's do it one more time. 2. Okay, not bad. No, we're done. You guys remember the games that were in the Legend of Black Silver? I think it was high-low which when we discovered it was always set in stone the cards that are drawn, I stopped playing that game. There was the Dragon Wheel, which is a roulette where you can lose more money than you bet, but you also can win more money than you would think, depending upon what shows up. And I think, was it Blackjack? There was a third game, but I don't remember what the third game was. I think it was Blackjack. A used armor shop. This is a jail? Woo! Good for me remembering. What do we have here? Feels like a weapons store. A loaning association. We don't want any of you. 110 for delivering that letter. Nice. So, let's leave. Come back. Get some food. Get the next quest. And then continue exploring the rest of Thompson's Crossing. Early game, there's a lot of this. A lot of scraping by, exploring the world, trying to get a little bit more money, try to buy the best, lowest level equipment you can, and running around hoping that eventually someone will trade you or offer to sell you a topaz coin. Or a jade coin would also be handy for us. We could use that with the weapons now and see what we get. Okay, so let's take another, let's take 15 days of food. So this is going to go to Mazelton, Langsburg, or Merchant Court. Wow. Yes, Mazelton. Okay, back where we came from. No problem. We know where that's located. We can probably afford one of those daggers when we go back there. I think this is a school to our left. Wow. A school. All right. Well, it's good to have one of these so early. Let's go ahead and learn what this is about. Armor Training School. 50 gold. Yes, let's do it. Okay, I will explain this. Well, no. Let's see what they have for their briefing. Yes. Combatorium is the name of this place. This school is your chance to perfect your use of armor. As you stand in the center of the stadium, magic firebolts will approach from all sides. Use your armor to block the firebolts before they hit you. If you do well, your endurance will increase. As you repeat training, your endurance may go either up or down, depending upon whether you do better or worse. Use the joystick or the direction keys to turn about. For your safety, training will be over if you're hit 5 times. Then we'll figure out your rating. Okay, so let's look a little bit about what they mentioned. What does that mean about better or worse in particular? Assuming you at least beat the first 2 levels of training, when you complete, this is my recollection, when you complete your training, your endurance will go up. The better you do, the further into the training that you're able to last until you take 5 hits. And those 5 hits, by the way, are accumulated over the entire time you're in here training. You take 1 hit at level 1, that stays with you up until you reach like level 6 or maybe level 10. That hit still counts. If we were to do the training again, like we complete this, we pay $50 and do this again. If we did not reach at least the same spot we had reached in the prior time we had done training, our endurance score may end up being reduced. So whenever you do training, it sets your score permanently to that rank, unless you do the training again, at which point you can lose it, or gain more if you do better. Let's not do any more briefing. We'll skip practice. We'll just do it. Our character will be standing in the middle of the arena. They call it armor, but it really looks like a shield to me. So it occurs to me our endurance score is basically being able to take the hits on the shield without being, I guess, knocked back or flung about, and learn how best to block attacks using a shield. There are 3 waves to every level. Eventually, or rather, let's cover this really quick. Every level will have the fireballs be quicker. Eventually, if I recall correctly, it is way too quick for you to ever block more than like 1 or 2. They get flung at you at like Mach 5. You are failing at a certain point in this. You're not allowed to have a certain endurance score through training. You have to earn that through other ways. Every wave, I think, has slightly more fire bolts than the last one has. So while we're doing this, viewer, we can talk about some other things as well. Let's talk about this game in particular. I always talk about this sort of thing whenever I play Legacy of the Ancients, so you'll have to also forgive me if you just got done watching an old Legacy playlist of mine and you're watching this one, because we're going to talk about the same things again. This game was the first game I ever bought with my own money. The first video game back in 1987. 30 bucks, if I recall correctly, is what it was. I got it from the Toys R Us that was near my house. By near my house, I mean about 12 miles away. Toys R Us used to sell Commodore games in these gigantic square sleeves that contained the instruction booklet, anything else that was with them, and the actual discs themselves. That money was given to me from my grandparents for my first Holy Communion. I remember my father, who was working at that Toys R Us, in addition to working at AT&T Bell Laboratories, he had tried to dissuade me from buying this game and buying another one instead. I'm very glad I bought this one. The other one was also a role-playing game, but I don't remember what on earth it was called. I vaguely remember a picture of what looked like a princess. You saw her from the back. She had like a white or blue dress with dark hair, and she was near a table or something with moonlight shining down at the area. I couldn't tell you what it was called, and there was a picture. This was a picture on the back of it. This game had a picture of a slime monster? I forget what it's called now. It's a creature in a dungeon, which is green and has red eyes. And it's slime-like. It's a slime-like humanoid figure. And the text next to it said, "Dungeon slime never looked so good." The front of the game sleeve was a giant picture, which looked nothing like what it was going to be like in the game itself. We're talking the 80s. Your video games did not look that great in 1987, not compared to what they look like. Okay, let me rephrase that. I think this game looks phenomenal. I still love this game. Everything is easily, like, you can tell what everything is. You have no issues. In this case, like, I can see the head of our character. I see how he's holding out the shield to block the fireballs. I see the fireballs. It's not like this is ASCII text where things are difficult to make out unless you have some sort of paper next to you to figure out what everything is. But I also won't lie, because games look very pretty these days. Better is probably the wrong word. More realistic is probably a better way to describe it. In any case, the front of the games would have some sort of graphic, similar to, like, I guess, people buy games in stores these days? Anyway, for Legacy of the Ancients, it was a picture of a guy who looked like you would see, he was behind it was a camera, like a picture, and you saw an image of what looked like a Conan-like character, a barbarian wielding a spear, and I think he had a crown on. And you saw his back as he was rearing up for an attack. And in front of him, on a staircase, was a lion-looking monster crawling down the staircase towards him. I should know, I have this picture in my living room. A giant version of it that I had, what was it called now? Framed. At the end of this series, I will go ahead and put up a little video where I show it to you guys. Since I don't think I showed it in my other playlists. In any case, on the back of it, it showed pictures of what the actual game was going to be like for most of the games we're going to buy, and had a description, a positive review of the game itself. Similar in Steam, I suppose, to the description of what you would read about the developers describing their game, and one or two positive comments from viewers. Back when this game was out, the internet didn't exist, so it's not like you could share your opinions with other people all over the world, or read other people's gripes, complaints, criticisms, or compliments about the game or what they liked. You would have to rely on magazines for such. I never really liked reading video game magazines. Even at a very young age, I always thought they would be biased towards the games that were in them. What was out back then even? Nintendo Power was the one that the only one I can think of off the top of my head. This is requiring a little more concentration now that the fireballs are going a little faster. My hands are getting a little sweaty. I'm recording this game in my den, where I have recorded other games for you guys. When I have done my face cam and said hello to you guys, I always record from this room. In the summer, this room gets very hot, but I won't record in the other rooms I have in the house, because you would hear the air conditioning units I have in my windows, and I feel that makes for a bad experience for you guys. So I'm going to sweat a little bit to give you guys better content. At the moment, the fireballs are leaving those holes at a speed where I can tell the order in which I'm supposed to block them. But very soon, viewer, that will not be the case. Once we hit level 6... if we can make it to level 8, I will be very surprised, because at level 6 and 7 is when things begin going south. And even though it looks like the distance from north to south is shorter than, or maybe it is shorter from east to west, the speed of the fireballs is all the same, no matter where they're launched from. So as long as you get it in the proper order, you'll be able to block them correctly. Alright, level 5. Feels similar. Level 4. They're faster. Oh god. Alright, took our first hit. They're faster, and they travel faster, and they're launched faster. In these, if you mess up once, you might begin taking multiple hits very quickly. Let's see if I can make it to at least level 6. Whew. Whew. Wave 2. That hit, though, stays with us forever. We're not forgiven that. Oh, are we forgiven a hit? I can't remember. I don't think we are forgiven hits. We might be. I don't think we are. The dexterity improvement training is very similar to this, only instead of having to block attacks, you will have a crossbow, and you need to shoot down the fireballs before they hit you, before they reach you. You're only allowed to have one crossbow bolt on the screen at any one time. It's not a repeating crossbow. So if you miss a fireball, and you're in the later levels, you will die very quickly, as you will take multiple hits. Woo! Oh man, that was close. Woo! No hits taken that wave. I thought for sure we were going to take one. I don't think we're reaching level 8. Level 7, I think, is where I tend to fail. my goodness! Fraction of a second to go between them now. Oh. I'll be surprised if I beat level 7 wave 1, viewer. Let's see. Taking it easy on me at the moment, huh? I do think this is far easier than the games that existed in Black Silver, but I did like the Black Silver ones better. The archery one in particular. Very, very frustrating, but I loved it. That was 2 hits, viewer. Okay, 5 hits. That's it. We failed at 7-1. We almost got through it. 21-point increase. Okay, endurance 36. That is acceptable. If we did this again, we'd have to. I think we have to. Do we start at level 1? I don't remember. I think the game might accelerate you to like level 3 and start you there, but I can't remember. All right. Well, now our endurance is 36. Having around a 35-ish in your stats at the start of the game, that's acceptable. We will never do the training again. Unless I'm feeling very lucky. We took too many hits right there at the very end of level 7. Oh, this is the weapon. Hit me, hurt me? How do I remember? Hit me, hurt me weapons. What are you selling today, sir? A superb knife. 81 bucks. We could afford it. I don't remember the name of the armor store. Heavy metal. What are you selling? Good studded hide. We have great studded hide. Okay. 81 bucks. You know, the weapons, it was 81 bucks at the other store at Thornberry too, wasn't it? Maybe the weapons are, maybe they don't differ. Maybe that's in only Black Silver, where all the different towns had different costs for things. I'm pretty sure the spells do cost different amounts at different places here. Maybe I'm wrong. All right. I want a superb knife, so let's buy this one. We'll equip it. We still want to hold on to our great knife in case this one breaks. And this is the bank. Okay, so let's deposit 51 bucks. Now remember, we put 100 bucks into the bank earlier. We earned 4 gold, thanks to us just having money in the bank. And we could do more flip-flop. No, I won't do flip-flop. There's only so much flip-flop I think you guys could probably stand. So if I decide I want money, and I decide I'll tell you guys I'm going to do flip-flop, I'll stop the recording and then start it again when I'm done with the flip-flop session. Speaking of recording, I think we've been playing for about an hour. Let's get back to Mazleton, deliver the package, and then we'll call the session. But there's something I should do while I'm here. And that's save the game. Something I haven't done yet. It would suck to lose all this progress. The old Commodore games, in case you're unfamiliar with them, were all 5 and a... Was it 3 1/4? 5 1/2? Was it 3 1/2? 5 1/4? I think it was 5 1/4 floppy disk drives. And you needed a blank one here, which would then be formatted into a legacy save disk to write your character files to. Everyone knows what it's like to save and load a game, generally these days. But back then, there weren't very many games that did so. This is a Blastosphere? Blistopod. We'll fight it. Ooh. I think... No. It's a slash needle that clubs are good against. This looks like... It looks like we have some sort of face staring at us, like a kissy face? Like a frog. A frog? No, a fish. A fish with its mouth mouth open. We're not doing very well. Okay, good. I don't know if I like the sound of something called a blistopod. I think of blisters. I'm not going to eat its flesh. 20 bucks. Let's go south and avoid that thing. If we were in the swamp... Oh, a strider? One strider stands before us. These guys are generally friendly, so we can speak with them if we wish. Do you want to buy a previously owned leaded club for 44 gold? So it's not a... So he's giving us a description of it and telling us what type of weapon it is. We haven't seen a club for sale yet. I have a hunch it's a shoddy one, but we don't own a club at all. So, sure, let's purchase it. Shoddy leaded club. A shoddy leaded club, though, will do more damage than a knife if we were to fight a slash nettle. Slash nettles are these... Well, you'll see them eventually, I'm sure. They're in forests. So where we just were. We can probably sell that weapon for about 20-something bucks. But we'll hold on to it until we find a better club. Bandits! Sometimes they're friendly. This guy's friendly. Hello, bandit. What do you got for me? He'll heal us. He wants to sell us a potion that will heal us 18 hit points for 14 gold. Yeah, let's do it. Another strider. Hello, sir. Lots of pleasant people walking around out here these days. Previously owned ring mail for 74 gold. Probably also shoddy, based on the amount of gold that's worth. But a fair suit of ring mail was 147? So I think this is a decent deal. Let's take it. Shoddy ring mail. We will equip it. I think it's equal to, or maybe better, than our current armor. Yes! We got a weapon to deal with the Crust Creeper. Let's not eat a centipede. So, how can we tell what armor and what weapons are better than the ones we currently have equipped? Generally, I think selling them is the way to tell. The more money you get for the weapon or armor, the more it's worth. The more damage it blocks or the more damage it deals. So let's see. I think this is the weapon store. So if I was to buy... First off, what do you have here? Superb knives. Okay. Nothing I want. So if I was to sell our superb knife, that's 39 gold. What's our great knife worth? 31 gold. And our club? 31 gold. So the club is probably of same value. Well, it is same value. It costs the same amount if we would get the same amount if we sold it. But I'm guessing the damage it deals is on average the same as the knife. We want different weapons, so let's now sell our great knife. We took a tiny bit of damage, so we'll go ahead and get healed at 5 hit points here. Generally, the healers are more efficient for your gold at healing you than buying healing potions from people out in the wild. That was a friendly bandit. I want to encourage this activity rather than him actually attacking us. I forget what stores are where. Are you your armor shop? You are. So if I was to sell our shoddy ring mail, 57 bucks. And if I was to sell our hide, 49 bucks. So our shoddy ring mail's better than our great studded hide. Are you selling better armor? You are not. Oh! I didn't realize you could spam speaking with a merchant to have him eventually sell you museum coin. Yeah, we'll take a museum coin. The jade coin. Alright, so let's sell the great studded hide. And And we'll wear our ring mail. Yep. We'll go and turn in the letters. We'll leave, come back, get the next quest from this guy, and then that will do it for the first episode, viewer. 110. Very nice. We'll just immediately leave. That jade coin could be used to... Actually, I don't... You can re-examine the exhibit to take you back to Thornberry and be given another $300, which this early in the game is worth it. We could use it at the weaponry and see what type of weapon we get there. We can get a dagger, a club, or a bladed staff, I think is what it's called. With the bladed staff being the best type of weapon you could acquire from that exhibit. I think it's a great bladed staff, a superb dagger, and or a superb leaded club. I don't think you get anything if we were to re-examine the tulip exhibit. I don't think you can continue your search and they'll give you more money. But don't quote me on that. I might be wrong. Okay. We'll purchase, I think, 20 more days of food. Back to Thompson Crossing. All right, viewer. Well, let's stop here. Thank you guys for watching. And maybe I'll see you in the next part, where we'll be doing more of this. We will be going to wherever it is the mail wants us to go. Actually, what we should do probably is this. We'll deliver the mail to Thompson Crossing. Then we'll go to Langsburg, which I think is east of Thompson's Crossing, because there's a weapon training there to improve our dexterity, which will make a world of difference for fighting creatures this early in the game. So we'll do that next episode. Thank you guys again for watching, and maybe I'll see you then. Take care, everyone.